Hey guys, today I'd like to talk about something that's a little more difficult to talk about, a little heavier, but ultimately I think it's something that we all need to hear and think about. The world seems more chaotic than ever, more negative. Different things are being exposed, darker things. There's a lot of uncertainty, conflicts. Israel, Russia, Ukraine. There's still genocide happening, natural disasters, fires, people hurting each other. It's a difficult time right now. The energies are chaotic. And we just had, several different significant events happen, including the solar eclipse. And the world is changing rapidly. Earth herself is changing. It's transitioning, shifting. And as we all know, with transformation, you have to let go of so many things to evolve, to transform, to become your next self, your better self, your higher self. To go to that next stage in evolution, we have to face things that we've been afraid to, things that we've been unaware of or unconscious to. And that's the process that humanity is going through as well. As Earth shifts and raises in vibration, so too do we. And we are here for that. That's something to remember, is we're here to experience this shift. We're here to grow, to evolve, to bring a new way of being to humanity. But how do we not let all that's going on in the world, all the suffering, all the pain, how do we not let that get to us? How do we understand that it's happening and it's happening for a reason? And that's probably the hardest thing to accept, is we're so used to looking at the world and seeing the problems and just sort of having this unsettledness about it, uneasiness. A lot of us turn that into anger and cynicism and negativity. We just think that the world is broken, that we are broken, that there is no fixing it. But that's only what happens when we are only looking at the problems. A difficult truth to accept is that ultimately, when you're feeling bad about anything, when you're feeling bad about yourself, about the world, the only person you're affecting is yourself. And I guess you're affecting the people around you as well if you bring your negativity and harshness there. But ultimately, we're not helping anyone by feeling bad. It's not an easy truth to accept, because we've been raised to feel bad when others are feeling bad. We think that the way we show we care is by how much we're suffering from others suffering. But in truth, that's never been true. That was a false truth. It was a truth that, while we believe it to be true, it is, but ultimately, when we really look at it, there is no benefit to us feeling bad. Because all we're doing is creating more of the same. we look at an issue in the world, a conflict or you know, something where one side is against another. And if we bring anger to that already angry situation, what is the energy in that situation getting? Just more anger, you know? If there's so much hate in a situation, in a conflict, and we just bring more hatred to it, what is being brought there energetically? Just more hate. Everything is energy. If we want to see change in the world, we have to be the change we want to see. And that is understandably very, very hard to do. When we're outraged at something, we feel bad, we feel negative, you know, we want to see it change, but we're so furious that it's even happening in the first place. But in reality, if we want to actually change that thing, we have to go higher. We have to find compassion, love, understanding, peace, and we have to bring that to the situation. We have to bring that to the conflict. You know, people joke about thoughts and prayers, but everything is energy. And what you're feeling about something is what you're contributing to it in the world. That's the truth. It's a hard truth to wrap around, and we'll realize that very quickly, that if that is true, then that means everything I've ever been so angry at and hateful towards or judgmental towards, I was contributing to that. I was making it worse. And yes, that is the truth. That's the truth that we don't want to look at. But it is very real, very potent. And I mean, think about why there's been conflict in the Middle East and Israel and Palestine, between them two, for so long. The whole world knows about it. The whole world feels unease about it. The whole world brings negativity to it, you know, because so much of what we think we're supposed to do is pick a side. You know, we always think we're supposed to pick a side. Oh, you know, the lesser of two evils or whatever, you know. It's people who pay attention to American politics will get that, you know. It's always the lesser of two evils, right? It's never what's right. It's never what's good. It's never what's peaceful. It's never what's loving. Because whenever you bring up ideas of love and peace and getting along and just working together and all that to people who are so negative, they just outright reject it. You know, there is no, oh yeah, that's a good point. You know, that's not it. They're like, no, I'm outraged. I'm furious. This, you know, how could you be so reasonable? We can't reason with this, you know? And, but as long as we keep that cynicism and negativity and feed it, that's all we're doing, is we're feeding it. We're feeding this beast, this monster in the world. We're just feeding it every time we think and feel badly about it. As much as we want it to change, as much as we want it to be different, we cannot control that. We can't control what happens in the world. We can't control and fix all the problems as an individual. The only way we could do that is collectively, but it's on an individual basis of what you can do to actually contribute. And to be quite honest, it serves no one to look at the problem and just see a problem and just feel pain and badness and sadness and all that. Obviously, when we look at those things, we have compassion and we do feel grief. We feel the pain there. And it's good to feel it and let it out. Do that as much as you need to. But always let it go. Don't hold it in. Don't hold it in, because that's just adding to it. Let it go. Let it go. Feel the release. Feel the release and let it go, you know? And then we have to start envisioning the solution. If you really want to bring change, if you want to bring new energy, more loving energy to a situation, you have to be that change. You have to become it. And so if you want to see peace in the Middle East, you have to envision the Middle East being peaceful. You have to envision opposing sides shaking hands, hugging each other, finally letting these thousands of years of pain and war and conflict, letting them go. Healing. We have to envision healing. We have to bring love and compassion and healing to this situation in our own minds, in our own energy field. And when we do that, we are actually transmuting some of that negativity that's going out there. We are transmuting some of that negativity, turning it into love and positivity, because that's where the solution exists. The solution is always up here at a higher vibration, and the problem, the issue, the travesty, the tragedy is always down here. So to get up here, we have to feel what it would feel like to see it end. And we have to be that. And we have to shift to that reality, to that timeline, to that place. Because that's how this works. Everything is about energy, vibration, frequencies. Everything is existing at one moment. What reality do you want to see? Do you want to see more of the pain, more of the tragedy, more of the war? Or do you want to see solutions? Do you want to see peace? Do you want to see love? Do you want to see joy, compassion? Because that's the only thing that's in your power, is your perception, your belief, your energy. You can't change everything else. You can only do your part. The change in the world that we want to see will happen exactly one individual at a time. And eventually, hopefully, we'll have an individual or many individuals who are able to inspire many other individuals to make that choice. But it's always still just one at a time. One at a time. So as painful as it is to look at the world today and see how chaotic it is, understand that that's a reflection of what we're afraid to face in ourselves. Everything going on in the world, all of the conflict, all of the things that have been hidden for so long, they have to come up so that we can become aware of them, bring consciousness to the unconscious, light to the dark. Right? The darkness is the unconsciousness, the parts of ourselves that we're ashamed to look at, that we're afraid to look at, that we have a lot of negativity towards or a lot of fear towards. We have to change that. We have to be that change. We have to be brave enough, courageous enough, loving enough, compassionate enough to change the way we see things. To understand that as difficult it is to look at the reality that we all see when we look out there, that another reality exists, a better one, a more peaceful one, a more loving one. This transition that the earth is going through, that we are going through, this elevation of consciousness, this evolution of consciousness, it's going to change all of that. And it's changing it faster than ever before on this planet. But we won't be able to see that until we get to a certain point ourselves as an individual. As you raise up, these things will become more clear. The solutions will get there. But now if you're at a really low place with yourself and with the world, try and get to a more neutral place. Don't just try, it's really hard to just flip from negative to positive on everything. It's painful and it takes time. So work on getting to a more neutral place, to a place where I understand and I accept that these things are happening in the world. I can't change them. I can't change them. But I can change myself. I can be part of the solution rather than part of the problem. And to become part of the solution, you have to take care of yourself. You have to heal yourself. You have to love yourself. And from this self-love and self-forgiveness and bringing the unconscious parts of yourself to your awareness, to your consciousness, and becoming whole again, letting all these old suppressed emotions and patterns go, and embracing a more alive and present way of living, a more loving relationship with yourself. That will change more in the world than you can even imagine. I'd like to give you an exercise to help with this. Something I learned recently, can't remember where, but it's a meditative practice in a way. Essentially, what you want to do is get to a quiet place, a comfortable place. So you can sit, you can lie down, whatever's easiest for you. And I want you to start envisioning what's bothering you in the world, with yourself, with any of that, whatever's really troubling you at the moment. Bring your awareness right here. This is your high heart, it's called. It's in between your throat chakra and your heart chakra, right here, the high heart. All right, the higher heart, right here. And just imagine all of the problems and all of the troubles and all of everything, and feel it as much as you need to feel it. Feel what's there. And envision all these things, and then all I want you to do is take a few deep breaths and send all of those troubles, all of those problems, all of those negative things. I want you to just send it, envision it straight up out of the top of your head, giving it away, letting it go to your higher self to deal with. All right? That's the first half of the practice. The second half of the practice is going to be hopefully transformative in a way. And the more you do it, the more benefit you'll see from it. But I want you to remember all those things that you just let go of. But instead of envisioning the current state of things, the problems you see, the pain you see, I want you to start envisioning the solution. I want you to start envisioning if something in the world is really bothering you, a conflict, a war, something, envision those things somehow becoming peaceful. You don't have to know how, you don't have to know why or whatever, or when. Just envision that reality where there's peace finally on both sides. They come together, they realize we are all one. And the only way forward is love, compassion, peace, trust. It's the only way forward, where we don't kill ourselves, where we don't end ourselves. We have to move from this place of fear and worry and doubt and anger to a place of love, compassion, joy, happiness, peace. So envision that, envision it, and then again, put your focus right here in your higher heart. Take a few deep breaths and send it on up. Let it go as well. We're not holding on to anything here. We're letting it all go to our higher self. We're letting it go to God. And just know that this practice is going to change things within you. It's going to help change the world. Every person who does something like this, who starts seeing the solution instead of the problem, is contributing to the solution. So I hope this helped a little bit. I know the world is just difficult to look at sometimes, especially right now. And it may feel worse than ever before for some of us, but I promise you, it's getting better. It will get better. But we have to be the change we want to see. All right. I love you guys. Much love, much peace, much light to you all. I'll see you in the next one.